Have you been experiencing a lot of anxiety lately? And you have your own business and you're going throughout your day and your stomach is in knots and you feel like you're constantly worrying, you constantly have anxiety. Maybe you're even waking up in the middle of the night in a total panic, whether it's about money or about a client or about a potential opportunity and trying to decide if you're going to take it or not. But it's getting to the point where it's getting worse and worse, or you've been going through it for so long that it feels like it sucked the life out of you. You have very little energy, and maybe you're even losing your passion for a business that you used to love doing. Hey, I'm Colleen Suchecki, founder of BelieveGrowShine.com, and I'm really excited to be sharing this video here with you today because we're going to be talking about how to break through anxiety and what the real enemy is, because it's not anxiety. All right, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. And you've probably been made to believe that you need to medicate yourself. You need to numb it. You need to suppress it, dismiss it, whatever it is. You need to get rid of it, that it's the enemy. It's the bad thing. And maybe you even felt really bad about yourself for having it. Like, what's wrong with me? I know exactly how that feels. So I want to share with you the truth about what anxiety really is, where it comes from, and what the real enemy is, so that you can have the breakthrough that you need. So the truth is that anxiety is really a way that your body communicates with you, because your body can't talk to you, so it needs to do something to let you know that there's something that needs to be addressed. And anxiety can be a way to get your attention, right? It can really get your attention. So it's really communicating to you that there's something that needs to be healed, right? And I'm going to get into that. But the thing that happens is that usually someone gets triggered. So you have your own business, you get triggered by something, and then you get anxiety. Now, let me describe what a trigger is. So a trigger is really when you're about to step into doing something bigger, whether a trigger can be a fear of failure, it can be a fear of success, it can be a fear of rejection or being judged or looking stupid or not being perfect. But there's some situation that triggers you. So that can be like you're about to go into a money conversation with a potential client, and there's this fear there of, what if they don't like me? Or what if they think I'm being pushy or aggressive or salesy, slimy? It can be going into a situation where you're about to give a presentation or a talk, and it's like, oh my gosh, what if I say something stupid? What if I don't remember what I'm going to say? What are they going to think about me? Now, I'm not talking about like butterflies. I'm talking about like anxiety. Like you're feeling anxiety about these things. Well, what happens is that you've been triggered by one of those situations because of a past experience. Now, to explain what a trigger is, let me give you an example of it. So I want to use the example of the movie American Sniper. So the American Sniper, for maybe if you haven't watched that movie, Bradley Cooper's character is in, I think it's the Marines, and he does several tours overseas. I forget if it's Afghanistan or Iraq. And he's the sniper. Like, he's in very, very dangerous situations, like all the time, basically. Well, there's this one scene where he sees a very traumatic event happen to someone using a drill. I won't go into details, but he witnesses this event, and it happened with a drill. So then they fast forward to when he's in the United States, and he takes his car to get worked on. So he's in the car shop, and he hears the drill going, right? The drill that they're using to work on his car. But they show how he gets triggered by the sound of the drill. And instantly he goes into a state of panic and anxiety. Because when he hears that sound, it brings him right back to that traumatic event that he witnessed. Now, here's the thing with triggers, is that it's very individual. Because in reality, there's no connection between the sound of the drill and that traumatic experience, except that it became wired or connected in his body. And all the other people that were in the car shop, no one else got triggered by that sound because no one else had that same experience, that traumatic event that they witnessed. So the trigger comes from a past trauma. Now, when I'm using the word trauma, I mean anything that has a negative impact on you. It could be things from childhood, like sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, being abandoned by your mom or your dad, having a parent that was super negative and critical towards you. It could be infidelity or going through a divorce, losing a loved one. It could be having a loved one get very ill and now you're more responsible for them. And those are just to name a few. You know, it's really any experience that, again, has a negative impact on us. And oftentimes, we don't even realize the impact of those past experiences. So how it all connects together is that when you have a past trauma that is not healed, okay, there are specific things that happen in your body when you go through that trauma at the time. And this happens automatically without you even thinking about it. So there are beliefs that get put in place that were never there before. There are fears that get put in place. Fears and beliefs about who you think you are and what you're capable of, what you think the world is like, whether you feel it's supportive or whether you feel like it's always out to get you. Those fears and beliefs and triggers all get put in place at the time of the trauma. And they stay there permanently unless you heal from that experience. Now, I'm not talking about coping through it. I'm not talking about surviving it. I'm talking about truly healing and rewiring your body and removing those triggers. So how this all connects together is that when you have unhealed past traumas that create these fears, that create these beliefs, you then go into a place where you have all these triggers and you can get triggered by experiences in your business. So let me share an example. So I had this client who was really terrified of public speaking. And it was really impacting her business because she had joined this networking group called BNI, where you go around and you have to do your commercial of your business every week. Well, when it would come to her, she would go into total anxiety and panic about it. And she would forget what she was going to say. She would not sound articulate or intelligent at all. And she wasn't getting any referrals. And she came to me and she's like, Colleen, I don't understand. I have so much anxiety. I can't even sleep the night before the meeting because I have so much anxiety about the meeting the next day. And she's like, I really need to fix this. I really need to figure out what's going on. So again, the anxiety wasn't the enemy here. It was actually alluding to that there's a past trauma that she had that was unhealed. So I have this energy technique that I use to help me identify what's the trigger, what trauma is it related to, and to rewire your body from it so that it's no longer a trigger. So what we found out was that she had unhealed past traumas that were related to childhood sexual abuse, and she had all these issues around being visible and being seen, and all this anxiety around it. But the anxiety wasn't the issue. It was that unhealed trauma, because she learned from that trauma that it wasn't safe to be seen. It wasn't safe to be visible, that bad things happened. So when we rewired her body and removed those triggers, she went in there and she started nailing her presentations. She was powerful, she was confident, she was articulate, and she started getting referrals, and she started getting more clients, and she started building her business more. So all she had to do, again, was not repress the anxiety, not numb the anxiety, but heal from the trauma that was causing the anxiety. And before we had met, she had done years of therapy, and she had been on antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication that never resolved it. So in resolving it, everything changed in her business. So the real issue here, again, is not the anxiety. The real enemy here for you is that when you go through that past trauma and you have those fears develop and you have those beliefs develop, those limiting beliefs, there's a part of you that then has this certain perspective about who you are. Now, if you're getting anxiety, it means that you're operating from that limited part of you, from the part of you that doesn't believe you're good enough, that doesn't believe you're worthy. So the enemy is really that that part of you that is not even close to who you really are, that's where you're operating from. That's the issue that needs to be addressed. And the way to address that issue is to heal from that past trauma that caused those beliefs and fears in the first place. So if you're in a place right now where you're like, you know what, I'm so done with anxiety, and I'm so done with feeling like I'm limited and like confined in my business, that I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to make the investment in the time. I'm willing to look at the tough things in my life and make changes. And you're also in a place where you financially can explore this as an opportunity. There are resources financially for you to do that. If I just described you, then I want to invite you into a complimentary breakthrough consultation with me. So in this consultation, we'll talk about what's the real root, where the real root of your anxiety is coming from. And if you were to heal from it, what's possible for you in your business. So all you need to do to apply is go to www.believegrowshine.com/wakeup, WAKEUP, to apply. So you will be notified within 24 hours of your application if the application has been accepted. And if you are, then we'll set up a time to talk and see how I may be able to support you from breaking through your anxiety, from healing from this past trauma, and resolving the real issue, which is this part of you that is limited and that is really kind of in the driver's seat right now. So again, all you need to do is go to believegrowshine.com/wakeup, WAKEUP, to apply. I'm Colleen Suchecki. Have a great day.